Hello guys, and welcome to my first YouTube video. I went back and forth a little bit with what I should cover and what my first video should be about. And after going live on Instagram, I realized I'm gonna cover the main questions people always ask me. I swear every time I go on live on Instagram, people ask me these same exact questions, like 2 or 3, 4, 5 people. So my name is Shamara Woods. I am a female fighter out of Elite Boxing Fitness Center in Oviedo. I am not from Florida. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm actually born and raised in Cook County, Illinois, from Chicago. I moved to Aurora, which is a suburb in Chicago, shortly after, I think I was like 6 or 7. So I grew up in Aurora, technically speaking. We just call it Chicago because whenever you say Aurora, people really don't know what that's at. The second question I get the most often is, when did I start fighting? The question really isn't when I started fighting. The question is when I started boxing. That's the question people should ask. I started boxing when I was 14 years old, and I started competing when I was 17. A lot of people do not realize that my first fight was not a boxing match. It was a Muay Thai fight. I actually took a catch weight fight because I believe the girl didn't show up or something, my opponent or something like that. I can't remember. It was a while ago. And it was that Battle of the Siam. It was a catch weight fight. I believe the girl was like 20 pounds over me. I did lose that fight, and in the description below I will post a link so you can watch that fight. But my first fight was a Muay Thai fight. Before coming to Elite Boxing Fitness Center, I've been with them for about 3 years. My coach is Dorian Beaupierre, head trainer and professional fighter. If you don't know who he is, look him up because he badass. Before coming to Dorian, I actually didn't have any fights under USA Boxing. All my fights, I believe they were state sanctioned, but they were not USA Boxing fights. I did have 3 or 4 boxing fights. I was undefeated, and I competed in kickboxing and Muay Thai, and I believe I was like 2-2, or honestly I really don't remember. I'd have to ask one of my old coaches. I was pretty nasty at it, but I don't want to do Muay Thai. I don't like being kicked. I don't like the injuries that came from it. So just to wrap that up, started competing in boxing at 17, started training at 14. Why did I start boxing? That is like the number one question I always get all the time. I started boxing because I couldn't stop fighting. To be honest, I could not stop fighting. It was just in me. I just fought all the time. Academically, I was very good. Don't forget that. Stay in school. Don't leave school. Academically, I didn't have issues. I was very smart. But on the, I don't know what you would call it, on the socialization side, I lacked a lot. So when I moved down here when I was 14 years old. And I moved up, coming from the Midwest, it was a really different adjustment. I actually fought more down here than I did up north. So in school, I was always getting into confrontations. The school was always calling my mother, like, hey, Shamara just fought again. I was actually expelled from school, which I'll go into detail a little bit later on in my videos. I have like different segments that you guys could watch. But yeah, so this is just a broad summary. So I got into different fights in school. I ended up walking into the boxing gym one day with my mother, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. It was something that came so natural to me. And it's been my sport of choice. I did track, I did cheerleading, I did volleyball, I did basketball. I was just always active. But boxing was definitely the thing that helped me. Honestly, it saved my life. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have it. Probably in jail somewhere, to be honest. So boxing, ooh, guys, I'm outside. There was a bug. It scared me. So boxing just saved my life. It kept me out of trouble. It kept me more focused, and it still does to this day. So we've answered where I'm from, why I started boxing, what age did I start boxing, and the last question that everyone asks me is, am I planning on going pro? The answer is yes. When? I can't answer that right now. I currently have 32 or 33 fights. Why am I not in a rush to go pro? Because there's no need to. I'm 24 years old. I definitely want to gain experience. I feel a lot of people go pro and they're very inexperienced. Ooh, all these flies, y'all. They're very inexperienced, and that sets them back a lot. So I definitely want to gain a few more national tournaments and titles and stuff like that. And then when we go pro, make sure you guys pay attention and look out for it, because I'll definitely make an announcement. So those are the basic guys. The flies are driving me insane. I hate bugs. So make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is my first video. Try to keep it under 7 minutes, because I know people get bored. Make sure you subscribe, comment below what you want to see next, and I will work on getting more content for you. I'm out.